Hi. Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome to Bella Crafts Live. Um, for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, my name is Lisa Rojas, and my business partner and I, and Butler, we own Bella Crafts Publishing, and we put out a free digital craft magazine 4 times a year. Right now, the fall issue is out. So I'll put links in when I'm done so you'll be able to grab them and to whatever I'm talking about. I'll put the links in and then you can go and sign up for the magazine. That's all you have to do. Just go to our website and sign up. Hi, Beatrice. How are you? Good morning. Yeah, so I am flying solo today, which is always a little scary because Anne keeps me on track, so I don't like run off and squirrel, what my husband calls when I squirrel. But she will be back. I'm not sure if she'll be back next week or not. She's out of town on a very important business meeting. And so, yeah, so you just have me today. A little bit scary, but we can do it. We can totally do it. So, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is my Day of the Dead wall hanger. Or hanging, I should say, wall hanging. It's such a it's such an amazing what do I want to say? Belief or you know, whatever it is that I'm trying to say that I can't get out. It is such a beautiful tradition. There we go. It's a beautiful tradition that I believe started in Mexico with the. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but yeah, they Day of the Dead for them is when they celebrate all of their past, their loved ones that have passed. And, it's a big celebration and it's all about color and vibrancy and, just all kinds of really fun stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Hi, Becca. Hi, Christine. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how to create this wall hanging that I did. It's really, really simple. So there's not like a whole lot of steps and all that goes to it. So you can put it together relatively quick. Let's see what else. Okay. Also, we do a giveaway every single week when we do our lives. We do a giveaway. And to enter, you need to like, comment, and share my video. Okay. And share it all over the place to everybody. Just share it to everybody. And then, but make sure that you hashtag Bella Crafts. Okay. Because that's how the computer system that we use picks up the names. Okay, so if you want to be entered, you want to make sure that you hashtag Bella Crafts. Now also we do leave it open for until the following Tuesday. So we will leave this open until following Tuesday. I don't know what the date is off the top of my head, but next week at 12 a.m. I think Central is when we close it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get in there and hashtag Bella Craft so you can get in on the giveaway. Okay. And then I will announce also our giveaway from last week. I am using some Gwen Studio products today. They are going to be the ones that I'm highlighting in this video. So that's going to be lots of fun. It's a cultural thing. Yes, it is. And you know what? I was asking my husband because my mother-in-law passed away years ago and she was such an amazing woman. And I said to my husband, I was like, gosh, I really wish I used to call her Ma. I said, I really wish Ma was around because I want to know more about the Day of the Dead traditions and all of that. And he's like, yeah, I know, because she would have been able to tell me everything and she would have had good stories to go with it. So what I do know is that it is a beautiful cultural everything, and it's colorful and, like I said, and vibrant and just fun, just lots and lots of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my cameras, and then we'll get started, and I'll show you how to do this project. So a lot of fun. Yay. All right. So let me switch real quick here, and we shall get started. All right. There we go. Okay. So see, this is the project that we're making today, the wall hanging that we're doing. And as you can see, it is full of color. And, you know, for me, I get very excited if I get to do anything that has lots of color in it, because it's just so much fun. And I really, really love color. So this is what we're creating, but let me put this off to the side for a minute, and then I'm going to get started and show you how to create this. Okay, so first of all, the products that I'm using in this are this Day of the Dead patch that comes from Gwen Studios. It is, you know, really vibrant and colorful, and I absolutely love it. And so my whole wall hanging is centered around this particular image. So I love it. It's a great patch, and it is iron on. I didn't iron mine on because I didn't use it in fabric or anything like that. I wanted to glue mine on, so that's what I did. So we're using that, and then I'm also using some of this trim. Now, you guys saw last week that I did a project last week, and I used this beautiful trim, and I am so in love with this stuff. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of it in the future, but I did not use these two this time, but I did use this one. So those are the products that we are using from Gwen Studios today. So let me take these now and put these off to the side, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So first of all, you're going to use a piece of wood. This is a set that I got from Amazon. You can, I believe there's 6 in a package. They're not very expensive at all. And it's 8x8. The size is 8x8. And it's just, you know, if you don't want to use wood, you don't have to. You can use like a foam core board, or, you know, cardboard, or, you know, chipboard, as long as it's something that's heavy enough that's going to be able to hold all of your embellishments onto your project. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I've already did it on this side. This is the front. So I already covered this side with my orange cardstock. And then I'm going to flip it over, and this is going to be my back side. So before I start adding everything, I just want to make sure that I put my hanger on before I add my second sheet of paper. So we're going to do that real quick. There we go. So we're just going to take some glue, a glue gun, and all of the ribbons that I'm using today, these are all from Gwen Studios. These are the satin ribbons that I'm using. They have a whole huge variety of ribbons and patches and things like that. And it's all available on Walmart and also Michael's. They're in both stores. So you can find the stuff that I'm using in both of those stores. Okay, so we've got our hanger on. So now I'm going to take my second piece of orange cardstock, which I've already cut, and we're going to lay that down, and then we're going to adhere it to the wood. Okay. This way. All right. So then that way, both of your sides are finished. Okay. So as I said, this is an 8x8. Okay. So your cardstock is going to be 8x8. And then you're going to round the corners because the wood is rounded. So it looks better. I was going to leave it straight, but it looks better rounded. So I went ahead and used the corner rounder on it. Okay, so next we're going to take a piece of cardstock, and this is 7.5 by 7.5. All right, so we're going to take this and our little nifty corner rounder. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and pop those corners off. So I have a nice edge around that's going to match my base, which is what we want. All right. So again, we're going to pull this over and line that up. Okay, that looks good. I wanted to make sure that everything was straight, and it is. Okay, so we're going to lay this one right on top. There we go. Okay, so now the base of your wall hanging is finished. So you can go ahead and start with the decorating. So we're going to start first with the skull patch that I used. Okay, so what I did for this is I took, I'm going to move this up to the side here just a minute. I took a piece of black cardstock and I went ahead and I layered it with my skull. And it's got about, I want to say 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch around. It doesn't have to be, anything fancy schmancy. I just wanted to make sure, because this is my focal point. So I wanted to make sure that this was going to pop off of my wall hanging over everything else. So I added the black around. So you're just going to adhere it to a piece of black cardstock and then cut it around and leave yourself a good edge there. Okay. And then what we're going to do next for this, well, before you do that, I'm going to add, I have a couple little rhinestones here. And I wanted to add these to his eyes, just so his eyes would pop out a little bit too. And get that beautiful, beautiful crystal look, the blingy look that you guys know that I love oh so much. All right, so I'm just going to take a little dot of glue, put it right there in the center. And then I'm going to take my little rhinestones here, and I'm going to lay those right on top. There. Okay, and then we're going to put the other one over here. All right. There we go. Okay. So now what I want to do, I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to be using foam tape for the back of this, but I'm using 2 layers, okay? Because as I said, I really want this to be prominent on my wall hanging. So we're just going to layer it and just add these tapes on. And I could have just done one, and I think one would have been okay, but I don't know. I went ahead and I tried the second one, and I really, really liked having that much left. Okay, so we're going to add those, and I hope I'm not messing my eyeball. Nope, they're still good. All right, and then we're going to peel the back of this tape off. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to add our second layer. And it really, really gives it a lot of height. And that's exactly what we want. Okay. But before I peel these off, we're going to add some flowers to the front. Okay. So these are the flowers that I have. And these are the tiny little, oh gosh, they're paper flowers. I believe they're probably like a half an inch. You know, they're tiny. So what I did was, and they come in packages. You can get them at all of the craft stores. You know, you can find these everywhere. But what I did then was I cut off the stems, and then I just adhered them to the top of my skull. So we're going to do that. And what I did is I like to start in the middle. So that way, once I get my middle centered, all right. Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button. Actually, my mouse was in the way. Okay, so I'm back for all of you. Let me know if I'm not. Hi, Isabel. Hi, Kelly. Okay, so let me know if we're still here. I think that we are. All right, I'm looking at the comments so you guys can let me know, but I believe that we're still here because I think I just accidentally popped in and out. All right, well, I'm going to keep going. So we're going to just add these flowers right next to each other. Let's see. Okay, good. All right. Thank you, Christine, for letting me know. All right, so we're going to add a couple more on this side. Oh. Okay, and I need a little bit more glue right here. Okay, perfect. And now we have all of our little flowers on top of our little skull here. Don't you just love that? No interruptions. Great. I don't like interruptions. Thanks, Becca. Okay, so we've got this done. So now we're going to work on the ribbons. All right, and I'm going to show you how I did that. All right, so I cut some ribbon, multiple colors. I believe this is 6-7 inches. We're going to end up cutting some of it anyways, but you get the gist, okay? And what I did is I found these cute little Day of the Dead crosses, and I thought this would be so cute to add, and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to add them yet. I just knew that they were kind of cute. So then I figured out, well, I want to use ribbons because I love all of the different colors of satin ribbon that Gwen Studios carries. So I thought, okay, I will do that. So what I did then is I went ahead and I got a bunch of these, and I just take them, each one, and you can use a glue gun on this, or you can use a tape runner. I used a tape runner on mine, and it worked perfectly fine. Okay, so we're going to add that there. And then that beautiful package of trim that I showed you, I cut off some pieces of that, just the single pieces. And what I did with this, I'm going to use this tape runner. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm going to take my tape runner, hang on to the end there when you start, and then just run your tape runner all the way down. And again, you can do it with the glue gun, but I thought, why not? Let's try tape runner. I'm living dangerously today. That's kind of scary, right? Okay, so then you're going to lay that down. And there you go. Isn't that cool? And now you have all these pretty, beautiful rhinestones, and you don't have to do them one at a time, thank goodness. So, yeah, I just love those. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished my other ones. Now, I added 5 to mine. Okay, that's a personal choice. You guys, you can do it however you want. Like I said, there's no rules to this project. Just have fun with it. So I'm going to scoot this out of the way for just a minute, but I have all 5 of my colors already done. And now we're ready to start decorating. So first thing that you want to do is, I always like to lay my stuff down to kind of make sure that everything goes where I want it to go. So I know that it's all centered and everything ahead of time. So I just kind of lay it down and look, and okay, that looks fairly good. And then it gives me an idea of where I need to put it when I'm ready for it. So for this piece, we're going to take 3 pieces of the ribbon. And what I did with this is I did the ribbons with different lengths. Okay, just to give it a little bit more dimension. I just thought it looked a little cooler. Okay, so the one that I start with here is going to be a little bit longer. And then this one, my middle one here, is going to be fairly close to the edge. And then my last piece is going to go there. Okay. So now I know where I want to put it. And I want to make sure that, okay, perfect. When I go to lay this down, I want to make sure that these are in the right area the way I want them. All right. So now what we're going to do is just run a strip of glue all the way up. And then we're going to adhere each one to our board. Now, see, with me doing it this way, because you can see that I'm not moving it right, I'm just holding on to it and just moving the ribbon. That helps me keep it in the spot that I want it. So I don't have to lay everything down again and try to figure out if it's straight or not. All right, and then we have this last one. There we go. Okay. So we've got all of our little bottom here on. Our little skull faces down here. And then now we're going to add the skull itself. There we go. All right, so we're going to peel off all of that siding from our tape. And then I'm going to lay this back down, line it up, and there it goes. And I don't know if you guys can see, but you see the depth in that? It just really, using the double foam tape really made it pop. So I absolutely loved that. All right, so we've got our skull down. Now we're ready for our other 2 ribbon strips here. So again, I'm going to do one a little lower and then one a little higher. Okay, and then I'm going to see where I want it. So then I'm going to trim this off. So I don't need that anymore. So we're going to trim both of these off. This just needs a little bit. Perfect. Okay. And then start with this one on this side first, because that'll give you a better idea of where the other one is going to go, right? All right. So again, we're going to add our glue there. And I'm going to hang on to this one. And then run another strip all the way up. Okay. So now you've got all of your ribbons added to your base. Okay. So now we're ready to add the flowers and all of the fluffy stuff. So what I did was I took a bunch of flowers that I had. I have so many flowers. There's a lot. My mom gave me a whole bunch before she passed. So I have a lot of flowers. So what I'm going to do, and again, I went ahead of time and I kind of set it up to where I wanted my flowers to go, just so I could get a good idea and make sure that they were going to look nice too. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. And now we're just ready to just add all of these flowers. So we're going to go here. And then we'll add the blue one. There we go. Now I cut the ends off of these. And I will tell you, because they had stems on them, obviously, but what you can do, if this plastic part that holds the flower together gets too bulky, then what you can do is you can just take that off and then glue the petals together is what you can do. I didn't have much of an issue with it, so I didn't really worry about it too much. Okay, so then we're going to add our purple here. Look how pretty that looks already. All right. And then I've got a couple pink flowers. And I'm going to tuck them right in there. There we go. That works. So we're just going to glue these right in there. And then once you get your flowers on and you get everything adhered, then you can go ahead and go back and start messing with them and fluffing them out and making them pretty. All right, there we go. Okay. So then, excuse me, I think I'm going to add another flower down here because I had my pink one, but my pink one was really big in my finished project. So what I'm going to do is just take another one of my yellow ones here. So that way we're going to have, it's not going to be all open here. I want this all covered. So I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to add this one. Oh, right about there. Okay. And then you can go back in, excuse me, you can go back in and add some leaves to your flowers if you want. I always think that that looks prettier if you do add leaves. But that's just me. You don't have to. Okay, so we just add a couple leaves here and there. All right, this side. Here we go. All right, there. So this is more or less what you want to do that pleases you, what you like to do best with it. All right, so I've got my other flower down here. And now I'm going to take my butterfly. I love these butterflies, are so beautiful. And I love them so much. This is something else that my mom gave me years ago. And I've used them periodically. So we're going to add this down just a little bit. All right, right about there. And then I have these pretty beaded embellishments. I don't really know what these are called, but You can find them, you know, with your flowers and stuff. So I just took some of these, and then we're going to trim off some of those ends there. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to add one right under here in my other flower. So we're going to add some glue. There we go. And then pick that up and then just kind of tuck that under your flower there. Okay, and you want it hanging over. I wanted it to hang over, so that's why I added it the way I did. Whoops, this one's coming apart. All right, and that is not a big deal because we'll just glue them right back in. There. Okay, so we're going to add those there. And then next, we're going to take these other flowers and we're going to add these up here. So these are going to cover our ends of our ribbon up here. Okay, so I'm just going to, actually, I want to glue them together a little bit first, because I really want them together. I don't want them to separate. All right, so just add a little bit of glue there, and then you're ready to lay them down. Oops, let me get that petal out of the way. Okay, and then we're going to add that right there. There we go. And then I'm going to add another one of these because it's just, they're just so pretty. And we're going to take this, trim off that end there. And we're going to tuck this right in here under our flowers. And that's going to go in just like that. Okay. Easy so far, right? Super easy. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to add is our wire. So what I did with this was I took some wire that I have. This is a little bit thicker than the black. But again, you know, if you want to add the wire, you can. If you don't, you know, that's totally up to you. But I just like the wire just added a little bit more to what I was doing. So what you're going to do then is you're going to cut a piece of wire. And these, I cut these about 10 inches. I believe these were 10 inches. Let me look at my instructions real quick. No, sorry, 12 inches is what I cut for this wire. And then this wire, because it's smaller gauge. So I only cut 9 inches. Okay. So again, this is going to be on the blog. You'll be able to, you know, have all of the measurements and links and everything there. So wrap this around something that you have. I used a stencil brush so I could get those big wide ones that I wanted. So you're going to wrap it around like that. And then once you have it wrapped on, you pull it off, and then we're just going to pull this apart. Okay. So we've got these just like this. And then you're going to do the same thing with the black, only you're going to do a smaller scale. So as you can see, these are two different. Let me see if this is easier to show you. Okay. The black is a lot smaller than the silver. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put those over there. And then what we're going to do is to finish up, we're going to take our little wires here. And I'm just going to start tucking them in places. And then once I have them tucked in where I want them, then I can go back and glue them all in. Okay, so I want one to go there, one to go right about here. All right, perfect. So I can take my glue gun, add a little bit of glue back here, and just lay that wire right on top of it. And then that'll hold it in place. Okay, there we go. And you're going to do the same thing with this one. All right, we're going to add a little bit of glue here. And then add this one right in here. Okay, there we go. We're going to make that a little smaller. But I just love how the wire just gives it just a little bit more, you know, there's more fun stuff going on with it. And I love that. Okay, and then I'm going to take another one, I think, and put one, we're going to tuck one right behind here. Okay, that's a good spot. So this one I'm going to trim down just a tad. And then I'll add the glue right to my wire. And then we're just going to tuck that right in. There we go. And then just like you would do with the flowers, once you're done with the gluing your wires down, then you can go back and, you know, and fix them and make them look pretty and whatnot. Okay, and then we're going to take these last two, the black ones, and wrap these two together. Okay, so we've got them all wrapped together. There we go. Okay, and I think I'm going to trim some of this ends off on this one too. So we're going to go ahead and trim this. It's a good thing that I wear glasses. I can't tell you how many times in my studio that I've cut wire and it's come flying back up at me. There's wire pieces, I'm sure, behind cabinets all in my studio. All right, so then we're going to take this one and we're going to tuck it right in here. There we go. And then I'm going to glue that one in place. Make sure that's in there. There we go. Okay, and that's it. That's how easy it is to put this together. I absolutely love it. I just think that it's so bright and colorful, and I just love the meaning behind the Day of the Dead. I love that meaning, and I just wanted to share that with you guys on this. So I hope you like it, and talk amongst yourselves for just a second while I switch cameras here, since Anne's not here to talk for me. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay. So there you go. Wasn't that fun? Such an easy project. Like I said, it's quick, you know, which makes it really nice. And I just loved it. And I hope that you guys did too. So I will go over the comments to see if anybody has questions, since Anne's not here to, you know, filter. And usually when I have my head down, my head is down and I can't pay attention to what's going on over here. So I will go through them and answer any questions that you guys might have. And don't forget, I will be doing a blog post on this. It will be up on Sunday, and you'll be able to, I'll post in our Facebook page. I'll paste the blog post is up. Okay. So then you'll know. Then you'll have all of the measurements and links and all of that to the things that I used, in case you had questions about that. Okay. All right. So the other thing is don't forget to like, comment, and share my video to be entered into the giveaway with the hashtag Bella Crafts. Okay. That's important. And we will be announcing that winner next Wednesday. So for now, the winner that we're going to announce today, I'm going to show you what that winner is going to get. Okay, so last week, I used Anne's stuff, and then I also used the trim from Gwen Studios, but I'm the one that's kind of doing the giveaway for this one. So the winner is going to get a brand new package of this, which you're going to love. Okay. And then also I thought what I would do is take the project that I made, since I made 2, and I'm going to give that to the winner also. Okay, so I already picked the winner, so I already know. And the winner is here, which I get so excited when everybody's here, is Rebecca Yarling, or Becca. So congratulations, Becca. Yay! I'm going to send you this. Okay? And this. Okay, you're going to love this stuff. I'm telling you. And next week, Becca, you're so silly. And next week, I'll probably be doing another Gwen Studios giveaway since I did it again. I used them again. I'll probably do something next week for that giveaway also. Okay. All right, you guys. So there you go. Becca, I know I have your address, but can you message me anyway so I don't have to look for it, please? And then I will get this in the mail to you, okay? So that is it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this project. I have such a great time every single week when I'm here with you, and I can share my creativity with you, and then you guys can share yours with me too, which I love every single week. So I thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all next week. Remember, Anne is not here, so she's not going to be doing her live today. So it's just me. So I will see everybody next week. But until then, what we always say is make sure that you take a little time to craft, because it's good for your soul. It really, really is. All right, you guys, have an amazing week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. All right, take care. Bye.